And now, in our Retro Rewind, we will be discussing Night and Day. June Havens is just trying to get to her sister's wedding in peace, but she keeps bumping into Roy Miller, a spy searching for a device that his friend created. Together, June and Roy try to track down this device while reckoning their emerging feelings for one another. This is also a Tom Cruise movie. What are the odds?
Pretty high.
Pretty high, with Cameron Diaz as June Haven. Tom Cruise actually is known as two people. He's known as Roy Miller and Matthew Knight.
Spy.
Total of course,
spy
that's
move.
why he has two names. And Viola Davis, one of our family favorites. She is actually a CIA director. Her name is Isabel George. This movie is directed by James Mangold. And if our cinema community is familiar with James Mangold, there's a reason why.
We love Ford versus Ferrari, but also for our more recent cinema community members, he directed the new Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny,
which is currently in theaters right now. We had actually just spoke about it, and he also directed that. As you were saying, Rebecca, James Mangold is a name that's familiar to us.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd mentioned Ford versus Ferrari 2019. Actually, Ford versus Ferrari was nominated for Best Picture and lost. Do you remember who they lost to?
I believe they lost to Green Book.
They did. They actually.
Everybody lost to Green Book.
I think that's actually true. This movie came out in 2010.
That's correct.
And you and your dad actually went to see it in the theaters?
Yes. Dad and I saw this in initial release.
And I didn't. I actually chose not to see it because I didn't think I would like it.
I remember you decided to stay home because you said the trailer looked predictable.
And we will talk about, was I correct all those years ago? Maybe. Well, I know one part of the movie that stood out, and we will talk a little bit about the acting. The movie is the composer John Powell. John Powell. You love John Powell.
I love John Powell's work. His work on How to Train Your Dragon is just awesome. He did a really great job with Solo picking up the John Williams baton. There's a few composers in the Star Wars universe that I've enjoyed, and Powell is one of them.
Well, and he has great variety. As you said, he did the music for Solo.
Mm-hmm.
And Solo is one of your dad's favorite movies.
Totally. Yeah.
And music is phenomenal. And what's the other music? What did he do?
I mentioned How to Train Your Dragon.
In 2000, what did he do? You don't want to know? Oh, you do.
No.
Wait for it.
What is it? Are you serious? Happy Feet?
Oh, no, that'd be...
Oh, okay.
No, this is...
Oh, Chicken Run. Okay,
Boom.
Chicken Run.
Play charades at our house. It's a blast. So Chicken Run. Oh,
Take
that
a
was
shot
good.
of water.
And Solo, you should have said Solo. I would have been like, wow, 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 wow. Oh, yes. No, Happy Feet. So he has a variety of music that he does.
Yeah, no, he's very versatile.
He's well, and he's not much older than I am. He's Are
you saying you're old?
No, he is.
Oh,
he is.
okay.
I'm young. Somehow our decades have collided. I'm just thinking he's done. I had read somewhere he'd done over 70 movies. He is prolific. And you were talking about the How to Train Your Dragon. A new one is coming out in 2025.
I'm really excited for us to touch on that.
And he is doing the music. Oh, and Cocoon Cast, our cinema community. Wait for it. It will be here.
It'll be here sooner than you think it will. That's the rule with any movie.
That's true. And the music I appreciate. The screenplay drama. There's screenplay drama.
Oh my gosh, is there drama with this screenplay?
And we want to talk about that. They were saying how many screenwriters originally contributed. However, the screen credit or the writer credit is one person.
Yes.
However, more than 12 contributed to this, and help our cinema community understand how 12 people can contribute.
Mm-hmm.
However, only one had the credit. Okay. That was a little bit foggy or confusing for me, but you understood that pretty well.
Yeah. So the WGA, Writers Guild of America, aka also the people on strike, their screen credits manual, they have this little funky thing that if you're working on something at the same time, you'll have a little ampersand.
Sure. And that's a little A, right?
Yeah, it's the little funky A.
Right.
If you're working on a different creative team, it'll have the word and, literally A-N-D.
Right, the actual word.
Yes. So usually this is what happens when a writer goes, I have to rewrite this thing. Night and Day is unusual because you have over 12 writers. And we pulled this information from an LA Times article
Yes.
written about the production named James Mangold Wrestles Night and Day to the Screen.
Oh, that's a good title. Nice.
Patrick O'Neill gets the writing credit for this movie because it was his original idea, and most of the time he spent rewriting over what everybody else rewrote. So the WGA just goes, writer's credit to you, buddy.
And to me, it's reasonable that he received the credit. I just found it entertaining that literally over 12 people have contributed, and they're like, no one, sorry. And it wasn't, we'll go alphabetically.
Oh, no, not even that.
Not even that.
If you know anything about screenwriting during this point in Hollywood's history, guarantee you'll recognize at least 2-3 names off the bat.
That's true. So it's not random guy, random gal, random guy. Oh, and we know this name. Hey, let's put him up there. It's because of how the Writers Guild processed this.
Yes.
And so it's not personal.
It's just business.
It's just business. That's right. The other part I found interesting was the casting. Did you know that Tom Cruise was not their first choice?
See, that surprised me because this feels like a very Tom Cruisian film.
It does to me too, and I found it fascinating. Oh, pop quiz.
Oh no.
Cinema community. Will she answer correctly? Who is their first choice?
I have to think about people who were like Tom Cruise during that time period.
The original choice of the person they asked, and this person declined, was Adam Sandler.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
The Wedding Singer as a spy. Billy Madison as a killer.
Waterboy actually sounds like a really cool spy code name if you think about it.
And truly, I'm not a Billy Madison fan. I loved Wedding Singer.
Wedding Singer is amazing.
Wedding Singer is amazing. His serious roles are great.
Totally.
The Uncut Gems recently, that
was fantastic.
Pretty phenomenal.
A24, we love you.
However, Adam Sandler in this role is
there's some lines, the way that they read them, like when he first jumps on the car, I can kind of see it. Okay, Ryan Reynolds, a young Ryan Reynolds would have been great for this.
But Adam Sandler, or excuse me, Tom Cruise is what, 58, I think?
I never know how old that man is.
Well, he doesn't age. He's the Dick Clark of movies. Do we have any questions from the box?
Given this movie was billed as an action comedy, do you feel like it succeeds as that, or was it weak on one or both of those fronts?
I felt like it was a little weaker in the action department. The comedic part, I feel like they put more effort into.
I would agree. And I think they were more successful in that. Mm-hmm. And it's a little bit unfortunate because it would be great where it could be equal or both, but it felt like the comedy overtook the action. Yeah. And maybe that is why it performed poorly. I have no knowledge to know for sure if that's the case, but I'm just thinking in my head, I'm wondering if that was part of it, where people were going in to go, oh, Tom Cruise. And then it's Tom Cruise likes Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz likes him. And I'm wondering if the expectation was different, and that's why it was a little
I'm very
weaker
glad
in the box
they focused
office.
a little bit more on the comedy because comedy is harder to nail.
This is true. That's a good point. I appreciated that. So would you say it's more comedy with some action thrown in?
Yeah, easily.
Okay. Yeah, after hearing that, I don't disagree with that. Do we have any questions from the box?
Given that Teresa didn't see it in the beginning and has now just seen it in 2023, were you bummed you missed it originally, or are you glad you finally saw it, or could you pass on it? Either way.
Wow, that's a loaded question.
No pressure at all, cinema community. I would say there are some movies I have seen in the theater and I revisit, and some of our pre-production shows we were talking about some of the movies we've seen and we revisit, and we love going back to see them again. Mm-hmm. This is one I don't feel like I missed much.
Yeah.
I don't, I miss, 13 years ago, what was I thinking? I was home taking a bubble bath. I could have been at the theater. I'm like, could have been taking a bubble bath.
think you were.
I think I was. And is that sad that the bubble bath was more memorable than the movie? But I'm glad I saw it. It was a fun summer movie. As we're recording this, it's summertime here. Mm-hmm. It was just fun. And I think my expectations were in line with what it was. I didn't have overly high expectations, overly high hopes. I don't compare Tom Cruise to Tom Cruise Mission Impossible. I'm glad I saw it for the sake of comparing, especially to Mission Impossible. And as someone who loves movies, you and I both love movies, I think it's good for me to see movies that I'm like, about, or I liked. And I would say I liked it. It doesn't mean I loved it, and I don't regret not seeing it. Now is the time for our moth ratings. Again, flying moths, 1 to 5. Rebecca, what do you think?
I think my moth rating dipped from when I originally saw it. It's dipped about half a wing, so it's a 2.5 for me.
So when you first saw it, it would be a 3.
Yes.
And now 2.5.
2.5.
And what would be the primary reason, or what are a couple of the reasons of why?
I think the more I've gotten older, some of the writing feels a little bit more stale.
That's fair.
And
that's
some of
enough
the acting feels a little bit more flat, given that I've had time to see other performances from these actors. And especially comparing to Vanilla Sky, where both of these actors are bouncing off each other.
And that one did much better at the box office as well.
Yes. But that might be piggybacking off Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, that's a great movie.
So that was kind of in that genre. Plus you had the lead up with Truman Show.
And that was a better movie, I believe, than this one as well.
I know that they're both Jim Carrey movies, but they kind of paved the way for that genre to succeed.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I would agree. I think a 3 feels too high for this movie. Mm-hmm. I would say... I honestly, a part of me says 2, but the other part of me says 2 and a wing, 2 and a wing, 2 and a wing.
2 1/3 of a wing?
I think I will go, sold to the 2 wing. I will say 2 for, it wasn't terrible acting. It wasn't a terrible screenplay. It was fun for what it was. Mm-hmm. Is it memorable? Is it regretful that I didn't see it? And that's part of what I look at. I say, well, do I regret not seeing it? And I'm like, well, no. Would I see it again? Sure, if you're flipping through the channels and maybe, but I don't actively say, I really want to see this again. There's no memorable lines where I go, oh, I'm gonna write that on a coffee mug. It's like, no.
Thank you for watching this Cocoon cast clip. This clip is taken from our weekly show, which airs on Saturdays.
If you enjoyed this video, you might click on the link or head over to our main movie channel and watch the entire video for more movie goodness. Thanks for watching, and remember, movies are better together.